Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Cougar, the Bitch, and the Wardrobe. I'm your host, Lana Mazer, also known as Curated by the Cougar. And I want to welcome all my listeners today as we jump into a discussion about 12 powerful ways to invest in yourself as a woman. So let's get started. I think that I would like for us to be able to have an open discussion, share personal insights or experiences on the importance of investing in oneself. So, I really, before we actually begin, I do want to invite my listeners today that if you do have any comments or anecdotes or anything that you'd like to share, please feel free to not only share them on my Instagram at Curated by the Cougar, but you can share them on the Spotify comments as well. And that way we can really open up to have a meaningful discussion. So, the first powerful way to invest in yourself is with your health. I know it's been hammered into us a bajillion times over, and I'm probably not going to tell you something that you don't already know. But I feel that I would be doing you an injustice and a disservice if I didn't mention it. It is of the utmost importance. And at any age, it really is important to exercise, to move your body. It doesn't matter how old you are. But as we age, it does become more and more important because the less that we do so, the more it will come back to haunt us as we get older. Now, I may say some things here that might ruffle a few feathers, especially if you are a committed yogi and that is your primary mode form of exercise. There is nothing wrong with yoga. It's actually wonderful. And I think that it is a beautiful practice. However, I do not think that it should be the only exercise that you participate in. And the reason why I say that is it is, I think, the most effective, the most important is weight training. And I'm saying that to you because I know that it works. I know of its benefits, and I know how it will only improve our long term health as we get older. So, all of the things that we're looking for in terms of our bone strength and fighting off osteoporosis as we age, also, we want to improve and increase our skeletal muscle mass. And one of the main reasons that we want to do that is to also help with insulin sensitivity. And so the way that we can do that is by increasing our muscle mass. And the more that we do that, then all of the benefits, the physical benefits that we're looking for in terms of looking toned, but also the internally your resting metabolic rate, your basal metabolic rate, that also will improve. And so what does that mean? That the more muscle mass that you have at rest, you are burning calories. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you are burning just by existing, just by sitting. So I know everybody likes to hear that. So that is just really, really important. And I think also, just in terms of cardiovascular fitness, it's also important to have that as part of your regimen. And again, yoga is great, Pilates is great, but all of those things in addition to heavy lifting. And the other thing that I want to add is that it's also so important that you are following a program when you're exercising. So it's not just like some random whoop-de-doo that you like throw together and you kind of like, figure it out as you go. By doing that, yes, you're still exercising and you're moving your body. But if you're also wanting to increase your strength and track your fitness and your improvements, the only way to do that is to follow a specific program. Now, for me, I have found that to be so helpful. I belong to a gym that is very close to where I live. The gym is called Rise, and it has been so phenomenal for me. I mean, now at 48 years old, I feel stronger and more fit than I ever have. And the reason why I find that it works for me is because it is very structured, and certain days are a certain fitness regimen, and each week builds on the last. So, what I am squatting on week one is going to be quite different than when I'm squatting on week 7. So, I mean, you have to go to the gym in order to see the improvements. But if I am going regularly, which I am seeing the improvements in my strength as the weeks progress. So I think that is something that is really, really important. And I cannot emphasize it enough. I think that a lot of women are afraid that if they do heavy weightlifting, they're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, in order to get there, you would have to be lifting massive amount of weights and also probably doing some steroids on the side, which I don't recommend. So, I think that you can be strong and fit and healthy on the inside and then feeling good and confident on the outside. So, there's my plug for that. In addition to prioritizing your health with exercise, nutrition, your nutrition. It is so important. Yes, you need to be eating protein. You need to be eating a lot of it. Your muscles are made out of protein. You got to eat those amino acids in order to have strong muscles and to be building muscle. You cannot be starving yourself and not fueling your body properly and then be exercising and want to see increases in strength. It's just not going to happen. Now, yes, like if you are trying to lose weight, there has to be somewhat of a caloric deficit there, but it's about what you are eating. And I don't want to spend a lot of time today on the specifics of that, but I do encourage those of you out there that want to make significant increases in your nutrition and how to properly fuel your body. I implore you to not take that upon yourself, but to work with a professional, a nutritionist, a dietitian, someone who does this for a living and can advise you properly. I think that there is so much misinformation out there when it comes to nutrition, and people see what a celebrity is doing, what an athlete is doing. I mean, these people have a staff of people who are advising them, cooking for them. There needs to be a program that makes sense for your daily life in a very realistic way. And I think that what's ultimately so important too is that we need to stay away from processed foods. We know that, we hear that. If there is a way that You can cook simply for yourself, create meals that are healthy, simple. It doesn't need to be like you're eating in a five-star restaurant, but as long as you can have a few of those recipes that you can whip up very quickly for yourself a few times a week, I think that that would do amazing, amazing things for your health and wellness. Secondly, when it comes to your health, or maybe this is thirdly, I lost count. So, but anyway, in addition to prioritizing your health, it is so important that you go for your annual physical. You have your blood drawn. For my ladies out there, you have to go for a mammogram. You have to go for a pap smear. You have to do these things. Your life depends on it. There are diseases out there that can be caught early on, and if so, will save your life. So please, these are easy things to do. And going to see your primary care physician and your OBGYN should be fully covered by your insurance. So I think that that is so important. The other thing that I will say is that if you are over the age of 45, you need to go and have a colonoscopy. I know it sounds like something awful, but I had mine done last year and I'm so glad that I did it. And now that it's over and done with, I don't need to do it for another 7 years. Colorectal cancer is a killer, but doesn't have to be. If it's caught early, it is curable. If not, then it's a problem. So it is so important that you go for a colonoscopy. If you're over the age of 45 and colon cancer doesn't run in your family, I think the new age is 45 and over. If it is something that runs in your family, I think that you might have to be 40 plus. So I think that is, again, super, super important. The second most powerful way to invest in yourself as a woman is to learn a new skill. Now, again, this isn't just for women. I would say this goes for anybody. But I think that the importance of lifelong learning for personal and professional growth is everything. Because we are what we read, we are what we see, what we learn, what we absorb. And so we want to be reading, learning, absorbing the things that lead to a higher place, more intellectual growth, more spiritual growth, all of those things. That's truly, I believe, how we evolve and we become the best versions of ourselves. I think that the beauty of, well, one of the beauties today of the internet and social media is that we can see all of these online courses that are being offered, and some of them might just be a day, some might be a few days, some might be a week, but it really offers the opportunity to potentially learn something that we don't know about at all, or to increase our knowledge. I think the online courses, workshops, books, obviously, audio books, podcasts, I think will add so much value. I know for myself, I really have started listening to so many podcasts, I would say in the last year. And it's really been so amazing to me. And I feel like I was like late to come to the party when it came to podcasts. But I find that it's really great because I could be in my car, or if I'm doing the dishes or doing laundry, folding laundry, like doing those like mundane tasks. And I put on my headset and I'm listening to a podcast, and within half an hour, not only did I finish doing the laundry or finish folding laundry or whatever, but I've learned something new or listened to a great conversation or a new perspective or something. And I really think it has brought so much to my life and just for my own intellectual curiosity, the fact that it's so available to us that it's really there's no excuse. Gone are the days when you really have to like there's something that you learn that you really have to seek it out and it takes a lot of effort and research or going to the library, which I suggest going to the library. I was just there last night and I was like, I can't believe I haven't been to the library in so long. But again, you don't have to do that. But there's so much that's available literally at our fingertips. The third powerful way to invest in yourself is building your confidence. I really want to highlight that it's part of it is cultivating self compassion and setting achievable goals. To highlight the importance of small wins. I know for myself, and I think we talked about this last week in the podcast, is I like to say to myself, you know, today on this date, if I want to set a goal for myself, an achievable goal, I don't want to set myself up for failure. So if I say, which I've been saying to myself for months, so maybe I'm going to say it today and I'm going to do it. Like it would be silly if I was like, you know what? I really want to become fluent in French. So I'm going to give myself 30 days. I mean, that's ridiculous. At least for me, it is. So if I really want to set myself up for success, I need to have achievable goals. So maybe like I say to myself, in 6 months, I really want my fluency, my grammar to have significantly improved. And then from 6 months from that point, maybe I'm really much more conversational. I think that makes sense. I know also I say to myself every day before I go to bed, like I want to be reading more. I do read, but there's certain days where, you know what, like I'm just tired and I get sucked into the rabbit hole of like my phone. And I really, really want to put an end to that. I think that it's so much more effective for me as a way to decompress to read because I find that like if I'm relaxed and I'm reading within 15, 20 minutes, I'm tired and I'm ready to go to sleep. Whereas like with social media, or even if we get caught up in like a great Netflix series, like all of a sudden we've watched 4 episodes and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was able for myself with TV, I no longer watch TV before bed. I can't remember the last time I watched TV before bed. So I was very happy that I was able to put that to rest. And again, it's not that I don't love a great Netflix series, but it's just that I find that when I do that, I end up staying up really late and then I pay for it the next day. So if I'm having a lazy Sunday and I want to watch a few episodes of a show, great. But at night before bed, I really want to stick to reading. So again, talking about achievable goals that will set myself up for a win. And again, build my confidence would be to say, okay, I would like to start a book and within 30 days have completed that book. If I say to myself, I'm going to read a book a week, and I know there are people who are voracious readers and they're able to achieve that, that's not something that I can personally achieve. So, the fourth powerful way to invest in yourself is to save and manage your money. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm amazing at this because clearly I love to shop and fashion is my passion. But I have done a decent job for myself, especially over the last year, creating a budget. And that way I'm able to say, okay, this is what I budget for myself for travel, for shopping, for dining out. I have my budget for my kids, things that have to do with my dogs. I mean, literally the house, literally everything. And I was able to do this because someone suggested this online platform. It's called Monarch Money. And it has been really, I mean, it changed my life because you can link it to your credit cards, to your bank statement, and it it immediately inputs everything, and you can create categories and spreadsheets and everything. So it's so helpful. I mean, even for small business owners, it's so helpful. And again, it just feels empowering to be able to say that you know exactly what you are allotting for X, Y, and Z, and to be able to manage that and hopefully be successful. And if not, understand why and how you have to make certain changes. But I do think that that is really, really imperative. The fifth powerful way to invest in yourself as a woman is to surround yourself with growth minded women. And I really believe this is that the impact of energy and mindset is influenced by our social circles. And I think that it's important to find and foster relationships with inspiring women. I find that the women that I surround myself with, if they are interesting and successful and just good, decent people, it really inspires me and influences me to want to do the same, to level up. And again, we've talked about this on previous episodes. We also need to be protective of our energy and how we spend our time and who we spend our time with. We are all busy individuals. We want to make sure that when we spend time with friends, that we leave that experience feeling fulfilled and not drained. Number 6 is upgrading your appearance. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to run out and get a facelift. That is not what I'm suggesting at all. I really think that there is such a great psychological impact of showing up for yourself. Dressing well, looking put together has such a positive impact on our self esteem and presence. How you show up for yourself is how, when you walk into a room, what you say without opening your mouth. And again, I want to reinforce that maybe making improvements in our wardrobe, it does not mean that you have to spend thousands of dollars. And I'm going to give my outfit that I'm wearing right now a moment for you to see so I can explain. So I'm going to stand up. So I hope that you can see what I'm wearing and that I'm in the camera. I'm going to move the chair a little bit. Hopefully that's better. So I just have to give this skirt a moment. Sorry, I'm not in front of the camera, so I'm doing a little shimmy shake for everyone to see. This top, this skirt, both from Zara. I think this looks like $1,000,000, and it wasn't. And I just got it, so it's available at Zara. I'm obsessed. I mean, it's just like the movement, the color, everything. I think it's great. And I love this top. It's a great complement to the skirt, but I love it together, but I would totally wear this with jeans or a pair of cool slacks or whatever. But I love it. And then the accessories, which I've talked about before. This watch, it's not Bulgari. I bought it on Amazon. This is a beautiful bracelet that I got from my friend as a gift. So I treasure this bracelet. This ring I bought at Chelsea Market. It's vintage. So again, it's putting yourself together in a way that you feel good about, but it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And the last piece, which I almost forgot about, this literally just came today, which I was really excited about. I think like when we get dressed up, I think a lot of people like miss the mark a little bit because they're like, okay, I'm wearing this great outfit and then I'm just going to throw whatever coat on. No, you cannot wear this with like your, puffer jacket. It's going to kill the whole vibe. I bought this from Zara and I think that this is amazing. So Zara, and then I forget where my boots are from. Staud, Staud. Just so you see, just so you know. And I have a friend's birthday tonight, and I think I'm going to stay in this outfit for the party. You want to again be in alignment with who you are. So I'm just saying, like, if this green glittery skirt isn't in alignment with who you are, don't wear it. But I'm just giving it as an example that, like, there's so much struggle out there. I find, especially surrounding the holidays, people feel like I have this Christmas party, this New Year's party, this office party, and so many things. And I don't have anything to wear. And like, I can't wear the same thing, and there are options out there that don't have to be pricey to break the bank. And you can look like a million bucks. I also think that for me, a personal experience that really helped me upgrade my appearance was when I cut my hair. So, if you can believe it, I used to have long, curly hair. And then, probably like going into my late 20s, early 30s, I started like blowing it out. And so it would be straight. And then years later, I had like a bob. And then 3 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I can't even keep track now. Yeah, 4 years ago, now like my hair was cut into like this pixie. And part of it was, yes, I met someone amazing who is the greatest hairstylist ever, Marissa Straza. I'm giving her a shout out. She owns Rebel Hair Studio in Nutley. She's amazing. They're all amazing. And so yes, like I trusted her with my hair, with my look and everything. And so that's also important, is that you really want someone who sees you and wants to help enhance your features and understands your lifestyle. And for me, I think once I cut my hair, it really felt so I don't know, I felt like I'd been fighting my own hair for my whole life, if that makes sense. Like it would be frizzy, or it was this, it was that, it looked bad, it would be curly, it would fall, it was long. I would end up putting it up. And then the minute I cut my hair, it just, for me, like, I don't know, I never had a bad hair day. So I think it did a lot for me in terms of like upgrading, for me, my how I felt about my personal appearance. Number 7 is creating healthy boundaries. We've talked about this on previous episodes, but I do want to emphasize it again, is that it is so important to be able to say no to protect your peace. So, if there's something that someone asks you to do or go someplace, or I don't, it could be anything, but you're either like not feeling up to it, or it doesn't resonate with you, you're tired, you maybe just want to chill out on your own. Like, you don't owe anybody an explanation. If something doesn't resonate with you and it doesn't feel right, just say no. You don't have to people please. Because when we do that, we put ourselves in a situation where then we become resentful. And that I think is a lot worse. So protect your peace, create healthy boundaries. Number eight is really important, and that is to heal emotionally. I think that the need for emotional healing, whether it's through therapy, yoga, breath work, journaling, there are so many things out there. I think that in terms of us showing up as the best versions of ourselves, we really have to work on our past traumas, things that maybe old behaviors, understanding those behaviors. I think that to understand who we truly are really helps us flourish in our current situation and moving forward because it's very easy to sit and point the finger at someone else. Oh, this person did that to me, this to me. This didn't work out because I was too old, too young, too this, to that. Those might be factors, but I think we need to do a lot of internal work. We really need to look deep within and think about how can we work on ourselves primarily before anything else because we only have control over our own behaviors, our own thoughts, not over anybody else. So if we want our lives to improve and go in a certain direction, we really need to look inward. Number 9 is developing your feminine energy. Now, I know that that can mean different things to different people, but I just think that for me, it's the importance of being self nurturing, being receptive, and balanced. For me, I think that means really self care. And if that means doing something nice for yourself, whether it's going for a massage or getting your nails done. I think that that for me puts me in my feminine because I'm someone that is like a take charge kind of person and I'm doing. And so I find that puts me more in my masculine energy. And so I have to focus more on my feminine energy. So being again more I guess like it's it's being more like I said, more receptive, um, and thinking about I guess for me, it's also removing myself from chaotic situations and just being in a softer environment. Number 10 is investing in your mindset. I think that, like I said earlier, we are what we read, what we watch, what we listen to, what we see. And I know for me, and this might sound bad or I don't know to some of you, but like I really stopped watching the news. I do want to be well informed of important things. And so I do read certain online news and things like that, but I really stopped watching the news because I felt that I was doing it in the morning as I was getting ready for the day and it really affected my mindset and how the day was going to go. And so if I'm watching the news and it would be something that was like upsetting, sad, or creating anxiety, that would be the energy that I would be set up for the day. So I think that in order for me, at least the way that I made improvements is that I stopped watching the news. in the morning before I go to the gym. So once my kids are out of the house and at school, I spend literally 3 to 5 minutes doing a brief meditation. And again, I'm doing a guided meditation because I'm not good at just like sitting there still with my thoughts. But I find that that sets the mood, sets the intention, sets my energy for the day. So I think that's been really helpful. I also think that for me, investing in my mindset, and again, I've not mastered this because is like when I get up in the morning, like not looking at my phone right away, not looking at messages, not looking at emails, not looking at social media. That has been more of a challenge for me to stop doing that. But it is something that I am working towards. The other thing that I have found for myself to set the tone for the day is that because I find that like in the morning, it's like the mad rush, getting the kids fed and ready for school and off to school and getting myself organized and feeding the dogs, letting the dogs out, getting myself dressed for the gym and whatever. So, in addition to doing this like 3 to 5 minutes of like meditation, I also find that like I just need to sit with my cup of coffee and not like pour it into a travel cup and have it in the car with me and I'm taking it when I drop my kids off at school. No, like I want to sit and savor my coffee. And maybe that sounds ridiculous and maybe it's the Parisian in me, but I find that that's really how I want to start my day. It's just pure enjoyment for a few minutes. And I think that's great. And the other person that I want to mention is my life coach, who I've been working with since January. His name is Brian Nathan Siegel. I met him at an event at Soho House, and he really has been instrumental in getting me to this place, creating my brand, creating my podcast, and really helping me figure out how to level up. And so, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that it is so important to invest in your mindset. And some of these things cost $0, and some things might cost some dollars. But if you're investing in your overall mental health, mental well being, spiritual well being, it I don't think that we can put a dollar amount on it. And number 11, again, maybe this applies, maybe a little bit more to me, but some of you out there is build your brand, build your side hustle, build your side income. I think that we have these creative projects that we feel maybe aren't that important and they're not really generating any income right now. So we're not going to spend any time on it. But you know what? You never know. You don't know what's going to happen. So if it's important to you to spend time doing those things, do it. Because I felt the same thing with what I was doing before I started my podcast. And now I'm doing it. And I know I'm going to continue to do it and I know I'm going to build it and I'm going to grow it. And I'm so happy that I found the inner strength to do it. And again, it was with encouragement, but I'm so glad that I got myself here. And then the very last thing that I want to discuss today, number 12 out of the 12 powerful ways to invest in yourself as a woman, is rest and recharge. Rest is not equal to laziness. We need to rest. We need to rest our minds. We need to rest our bodies. If we don't take the right amount of time for proper sleep, we will not show up as the best version of ourselves. And we know, obviously, the health benefits of proper sleep. But I am telling you that as we get older, we think, oh, we need less sleep because we're not growing anymore. Now, you need more sleep to balance your hormones and for your brain health and everything else. I really found that over the last couple of years, I've been very diligent and structured with going to bed during the week at 10 o'clock so that I can get up at 6. And having that 8 hours of sleep really has changed everything for me in terms of like brain fog and feeling productive and energetic, and also like my mood. Because if I don't sleep, I am cranky, and that's not great. So I really think that finding that time to sleep, and again, I think that there are things that you can put into practice for yourself that might help train your body and your mind that it's time to like slow down. I like don't balance your checkbook before you go to sleep. Like that's not relaxing. Like don't read your email, don't open your mail. Like don't do that stuff right before you go to sleep. That's not going to be great for your mood or to like calm down. I think that if you can take a bath before going to sleep, if then you get into bed and you can read for a little bit or listen to some relaxing music, or even like some sort of sleep meditation, something that teaches your body it's time to wind down. I need to breathe and relax. And eventually it just becomes a habit like anything else. So today, I do want to encourage my listeners to choose at least one thing that you're going to invest in yourself, right? Because we want to set ourselves up for success. And I gave 12 today, and I'm not saying you have to do all 12 at once, but maybe pick one. Pick one each month and see how that feels for you. And as I said in the beginning of the episode, please, I encourage your feedback. And really, what's so helpful to me, which really will help the success of the podcast and the growth of the podcast, is for you to not only listen, but to subscribe and to comment. And if you feel that you have someone in your life that would also benefit from today's episode, please share it with them. And I do want to again mention that you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube at Curated by the Cougar, and on Spotify at The Cougar, the Bitch, and the Wardrobe. Until next time.